Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right, but you're just still falling behind? I'm 20 years old and I'm halfway through an optometry degree. And while spending thousands on tuitions and years studying support substances, just like my textbooks, everything like that to help me through my year, some of my mates, they didn't go to university or doing apprenticeships. I'll talk to them, I'll see their Instagram, I'll open Snapchat, anything like that, and you see them with their lovely cars. I mean, some of them have got house deposits going down, some of them are on salaries. Honestly, it's just boggling for me to think about. They just fry my brain a little bit already. And it's like logically, I know exactly why that's happened, but emotionally, it's completely different. And I think that's a big thing that not many people talk about nowadays, to be honest. I think that the ease of access to seeing how your mates' lives are going, I mean, Instagram, as I said, Snapchat, everything like that, the ability to just take a picture and post it, and the 200, 500,000 people who follow you, everyone just gets that on their For You page instantly, you know? That new car that you bought, that maybe they've saved up for 3 years working overtime at their job, anything like that. That's just not what the Instagram story shows. The Instagram story shows the cool car, you know? I think I find that really difficult personally to differentiate and like recognize the amount of work they've probably put into that. And something that is difficult is when some of them have had support with that maybe you haven't had, maybe support that it wasn't available to you, they've received, and that's completely free of charge. Maybe that's family, maybe that's an external situation, something like that. But when it is related to effort and it leaves almost you feeling like you're behind, I think that's really, really difficult. I think it's also not helped by the fact that, as I said, being at university, I really do feel like no matter the fact that I know I'm getting better, I know every month I'm learning something, every single lecture, every placement, every exam that I manage to pass, even every revision session, the days you're not feeling it and you turn up and you do it, it is building towards something. It's building towards that career, that future that I want for myself, but it just hasn't paid me back yet. Every year it just looks like effort sinking away, and the improvement is so gradual I don't recognize it anymore, you know? Talking to family, friends, anything like that, they'll be like, wow, you've learned a lot, you know? That's different to how you were this 6 months ago, a year ago, even a month ago, you know? New topics, new subjects, new skills. But it's so difficult to recognize that in yourself. And I think that really conflicts with being able to have a sort of positive mental image, because not seeing any improvement in yourself and seeing friends around you, each one leaping ahead of you, it feels like, is so difficult. And I know a lot of you probably struggle with it as I do. And this isn't any sort of magic advice. This is a preface. I don't have the solution. I still personally feel this, you know. I find it difficult to find any way of sort of helping other than just disconnecting for a bit, just doing what I like to do and just like taking that step back, you know? And it is a step back that sort of saves it, because I personally don't want their life. You know what I mean? I wouldn't swap my life for their life. I'm not envious of their life instead of mine. I really enjoy my degree. I'm excited to qualify and lead it on into the rest of my life. But I know that it's like in my head, I know I'm doing it, but I don't want to. And it's that comparison and that sort of envy of what they've got in that exact moment. And I do find it doesn't affect me day to day. You know, it's not something that ruins my life. It's not something that is negatively affecting me every single day. It's just sometimes when you load up Instagram and you see someone on holiday in like a foreign country or something, and it really is just like, wow, I'm not there. I haven't been there, you know. I can't afford to go there right now. I'm got work tomorrow or something. You know what I mean? It's like, how have they done that? And I do think it is so easy to fix when you realize that it's happening in yourself. You just think to yourself, well, maybe they've saved up for that for a couple of weeks, you know? Maybe that's a month's paycheck that they put towards it, and that's somewhere they've always wanted to visit. Maybe there's family support. They've got family living out there. That's free accommodation, you know? But money isn't everything, you know? A lot of people online, you've probably heard in a lot of these videos, if you watch a lot of them, that money doesn't matter. You should seek everything apart from it and anything like that. But in my opinion, to my life, money is very important. It buys me freedom. It buys me happiness. It buys me my holidays, the vehicles that I love. And being not lacking, that's the wrong word, but not being at the sort of financial point that I would like to be at makes me feel like I'm behind financially. Again, with that comparison factor, everything like that, it just adds up so quickly. And I think the thing that really matters, at least to me, is that I need to sort of clock it into my head that I'm not behind permanently. This isn't a thing that will stay like this forever. I'm not a worse person than those other people, you know? It's just that at my current situation, I've gone a different path to all these other people, and that's put me where I am, you know? And I think that it really is a case of that magical term everyone loves to throw around, delayed gratification, you know? When you're younger, an impossible concept. You can't even think about it. It's just like, what? I do something now and I don't get anything for months, you know? That's stupid. But it is, you become an adult, you grow up, and you will realise how important that spending those years behind or lacking, you know, that period of time in your life is just you working towards your goals. And when you reach them, oh, they're going to feel good, you know? So for me personally, getting that qualification, my earning potential could massively change. I don't know, obviously, what it's going to happen. I don't know the state of the job market at that point. There's so much stuff up in the air to a point I don't even think it's worth really thinking about. You know, have a general plan so you know where you're going with your life. You have a route in mind. But is it really worth stressing about in any way? I don't think so. And I mean, personally as well, someone who's had those years without being at university, that's already, say, 2 years, even if they're on 20 grand a year, right? 2 years, that's 40 grand, that's a house deposit. That's a down payment on an M3. You know, that's ridiculous money. So, those 2 years, they feel like I haven't learned much. I know I have, as I said, but it feels like I haven't, and it feels like they've made a ton of money. Especially if they've got the benefit of being able to stay with family and not spend it like my monthly payments that are saying on sort of university, even rents, things like that, food. But I do think that the delayed gratification is worth it. You know, it is so easy to say, but I do think that when you really sit back and think about it, I would not swap where I am now. I'm halfway done, you know. I haven't made it halfway to give up now. I'm sticking it through. I'm finishing third year, then I'm finishing fourth year, then I'm qualified. Sky's the ceiling, you know. I will be learning, just keep it pushing, learning, adapting, just keep evolving almost until I've realised what it is that I want to do, which direction I want to go, figuring out, oh, was that car actually worth the sort of money that I was thinking about putting into it? Or would I rather be putting that towards a house deposit? Would I rather have a better car and bin off the motorbike, or would I rather have my bike and a car, is that something I can afford at that time? You know what I mean? There's so many ways to be smart about it. But right now, I'm always just thinking, oh, what if I had, God, that thing looks lovely. I wish I could afford blank, you know? And it just constantly, it's something new constantly. And I really do, personally, still get jealous. I mean, I still think to myself, I wonder what it would be like if I just dropped out and I did something else. I remember one of my mates offered me, his business was, not his business, the business he was working at, he's not quite there yet, but business he was working at on his apprenticeship was offering apprenticeships for that year. And he said that he'd put through a recommendation for me if I wanted it, because we were in the same computer science class and we got along really well, and he knew that I was committed, I had the effort, everything like that. And that is the one time in my university career I've really wobbled, because the pay, the hours, opening up Instagram, he's in Switzerland on a work meeting, you know, he's skiing, he's off in a different country in Southeast Asia for a work meet. All of these things. That is the one time where I've really been like, oh, I could do that, you know, that's not a bad life. And then I thought back to myself and I thought, admittedly, it's a bit of sunk cost fallacy where I'm thinking about how much money I've put into uni and how much I'd have to be paying back for not having the degree. But it's almost in a good way where it's a little bit of motivation, keeps you on track, that I could probably do with, you know? And I've just got to keep in mind that sometimes that number, when I open my bank account, that is not the progress I've made in my life in the last couple of years. When I got my first job and I was working and that number was going up and up and up. Oh, what a time to be alive, you know, that was lovely. But right now, the knowledge, the opportunities, the people I'm meeting, everything like that, even the skills, that is what's going to build me my future career. And that is what's going to start paying the bills and affording the nicer cars, the things I really want to do, you know? And I just hope that maybe in 5 years' time, you know, I'll look back at this video and I'll laugh because everything worked out. Maybe I'll still be figuring it out, you know? Maybe I'll be working up and realizing that what I was doing, what I put all that effort into, didn't make me happy. And if that's the case, I hope that I'll have the sort of strength to change my course, because I also know some people who are stuck in what they're doing. Either way, I think a lot more people feel like they are behind than they're willing to admit. And I think there's, as much as old people and your parents love to say it's that damn phone, I really do think sometimes just taking a step back and just appreciate what you've got, you know? Every day, whatever you find joy in, just being able to do that. Even if it's as simple as going to work and helping someone, or going on a walk outside, you know? That is the bit that should be driving your day to day, not jealousy, envy, anything like that from other people. Now, I really appreciate if you stuck around this long and you've sort of listened to me waffle a bit. As I said, I really do appreciate it, guys. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.